Hi, it's Dan from Plant to Health. What's the deal with protein? Is there such a thing as too much? How much should you be getting every day? Find out next. Our world is obsessed with protein. It's protein everywhere. How do I get my protein? This has so and so grams of protein and I gotta get it. Why? Why are we so keen on loading up on that protein? Is protein that healthy and good for us? Should we be getting a lot of protein? Why have marketers jumped on the protein bandwagon and are using it as a UVP or a unique value proposition to sell their products regardless of their overall health? Well, protein isn't a magic bullet. Marketers are selling it as the way to lose weight and also the way to bulk up and gain muscle. Is it true that if you consume a lot of protein, you'll lose weight or gain a lot of muscle? The answer is no and no. You'll gain muscle if you work out in the gym and consistently make improvements. You'll lose weight if your overall caloric intake will be in a deficit. But protein does not change any of those things. In fact, there's a lot of misinformation, and our obsession with it is actually very unhealthy because most of the protein consumed is animal protein. It's leading us to consume a lot of animal protein, which is extremely unhealthy, and I have a laundry list of reasons why consuming animal protein is unhealthy for you. I'll make a separate video about that. So, what's the deal? How much should you be consuming every day? According to the World Health Organization, an average person needs to consume 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, which means an average 75 kilo male or 165 pound male should be consuming 60 grams per day. Most of us consume more than that without even noticing. So you start realizing that consuming protein deficient diet is pretty hard to do. Now those numbers are rounded up, and the truth is you can actually get by with a lot less protein than that. So you don't actually need 60 grams of protein to live and to be healthy. And populations have lived and shown resilience and health on less than 60 grams of protein per day. And if you're like, but hey Dan, bro, I work out and I need that protein to get those gains, well, there's a lot of myth and misinformation surrounding that as well. The World Health Organization says 1.1 to 1.5 grams per kilo per day is enough for those who are working out regularly and need extra protein. So that comes out to somewhere between, to the same average 75 kilo, 165 pound guy, comes out to somewhere between 82 grams and 112 grams per day. Now, most of you people working out are consuming a heck of a lot more and thinking that you're doing yourself a favor by doing that, when the actual matter of fact is that you might be causing yourself some serious damage, especially if you're consuming animal proteins, because animal proteins have a lot of damaging effects for your health, especially in the long run. What's more, interestingly enough, an amino acid, which is the building block of protein, an amino acid restriction has been shown to extend life. Actually, a low protein diet has been shown to be beneficial for your health. Does that mean that everyone should go on a low protein diet? Not necessarily. The balance of amino acids found, particularly sulfur-containing amino acids and other amino acids that have been shown to be more harmful to your health, are lower in the overall balance in plant foods. So actually eating plant proteins is an effective way of extending your life without limiting your nutrition or restricting your nutrition and eating very few calories. By the way, the World Health Organization also tells us that an excess consumption of protein is around the 2 gram mark per kilo per day, which means that average 75 kilo, 165 pound guy would be consuming 150 grams and upwards, and that is officially too much protein and potentially causing yourself some serious damage in the long run. One of the things that we know about is that it's harmful to the functioning of your kidneys. So if you want to stay fit and build muscle in a healthy way, you actually should not be consuming too much protein. In fact, you can build muscle and become as fit and shredded as you want on a lot less protein than you would actually assume. It's also important to understand that you cannot design a protein deficient diet as long as you're eating natural foods. I mean, unless you're eating Jell-O all day, if you're eating any kind of natural foods, you're going to get enough protein as long as you're getting enough calories. The only people that are actually protein deficient are people who are starving. There's a phenomenon known as kwashiorkor, which it can be seen sometimes, well, stereotypically, in very poor, impoverished children in Africa, where they're extremely skinny, but their stomachs are all bloated out. That is called kwashiorkor, and it is due to a severe lack of nutrition. Now, when you're lacking in nutrition and you're lacking in calories, you're also going to lack protein, and then you're going to have protein deficiency. In the Western world, where we live in the era of excess, very few people are suffering from an inability to get enough calories, and therefore you won't find any protein deficient people in the hospitals. There is no protein deficiency ward in the hospital because there is no need for it. So one of the problems is that the thresholds and importance of protein were established by observing rats about 100 years ago. Rats have much higher protein needs compared to us humans, and the way you could see what I mean is by looking at the protein content of the milk. Milk is supposedly the perfect food designed for a baby to grow as rapidly as possible according to their nutritional needs. Rat milk has 25% protein, while human milk has only 6% protein. In fact, human milk among mammals has one of the lowest protein contents. That in itself tells us a lot. People, for example, living in Okinawa that were extremely healthy and lived very long, healthy lives, active lives up until old age, were consuming about 9% protein in their diet. So their diet was actually a very low protein diet. The assumption is one of the reasons that the whole food plant-based diet is so effective in reducing disease and extending life is due to that better profile of amino acids and actually somewhat of a lower protein consumption in those diets. Limiting your protein intake is good for your health. Now, like I mentioned before, not all protein is created equal. Animal proteins are actually harmful to your health. I will make another separate video about it, but just take my word for it for now. There's a whole laundry list of reasons why animal proteins are actually harmful for your health. Not only that not all proteins are created equal in that sense, I want to stress that you want to be getting your protein from a whole plant food. You don't want to be getting your protein from powders or concentrated processed products that contain isolated protein powders. Those kind of products, while they can be beneficial in certain situations, like when people are hospitalized after surgery, have been burned, or all sorts of other medical conditions and actually need more nutrition and are unable to eat the food. Under normal circumstances, meaning hopefully you and me, you want to be getting your nutrition from food, not from a powder, okay? Powders are highly processed, isolated proteins, and they hit your body in a single go, and it is difficult for the body to regulate the intake of that protein and those amino acids, and it is much more taxing on the body, it's much more taxing on your kidneys, it's much more unhealthy, and it can lead to problems in the long run. Some of those isolated proteins, such as soy protein isolate, have been shown to raise IGF-1 levels, insulin growth-like factor 1, which contributes to the formation of cancer. So you don't want to be consuming those kind of artificial, industrial kind of products. Try getting your protein from legumes, which is one of the healthiest foods on the planet. So beans, peas, chickpeas, lentils, all of those delicious foods are packed with protein, they're packed with fiber, they're packed with iron, calcium, and other phytochemicals and other nutrients, and they're just good for you. Adding more beans, peas, lentils, chickpeas, and so on, and soybeans to your diet will boost your protein intake if you actually need to, because like I said, under normal circumstances, just eating a regular healthy diet is going to provide all the protein that you need. Get your protein from actual foods, from whole plant foods, and then you're getting it the natural way, in the way that is not harmful to your health in the long run. Now, if you think about it, people who are professional bodybuilders and people who do professional sports in the long run and are consume massive quantities of protein and other supplements for years and years on end. Think about it. Have you heard of any of those people being healthy in old age? The answer is no. They're very unhealthy. Doing those kinds of things is actually very harmful for your health. They're overloading their body to the max, and they are hurting themselves in the long run to get those shorter term gains and results that they're looking for. Now, I'm assuming that you, and well, at least that's my mindset, want to live a long, healthy, active life. So it's good to work out, it's good to be fit, but don't hurt yourself in the process. Do it the smart way, do it the healthy way by eating whole plant foods and getting the protein and all the nutrients that you need from plant foods. You feel that you need to up your protein intake? Just eat more beans, peas, lentils, chickpeas, soybeans, and so on. Also, whole grains have a decent amount of protein. So if you're eating quinoa, that's great. If you're eating rice, it has a wonderful protein profile. It has all 8 essential amino acids. So even though it doesn't have a lot of protein, the protein is very good and high quality. And you can get all the protein you need from those whole plant foods. Just eat some more, because people who exercise, people who undertake strenuous physical activities, they don't need more protein. They need more calories. They need more food because they are spending more, so they need to eat more. So beautiful people, there's a lot of things I can say about protein. It's a huge topic. I'm sure I'm going to make more videos about it in the future, but the bottom line is, don't fall prey to some nutritional craze, to some marketing campaigns that are trying to push stuff onto you. The way to being healthy and fit, obviously, is exercising, but what you should be consuming is whole plant foods. A whole food, plant-based diet without oils and low fat is the way to go, and is the way to live an optimal, healthy, long, active life. Following nutritional fads is not going to lead you into good health, and in the long run, you might actually be damaging your health and increasing your chances of different diseases and actually shortening your lifespan. That's also been shown, for example, on low-carb diets and high animal food diets. So remember, eat whole plant foods, and you only stand to lose the weight, the diabetes, the heart disease, and more. So I'll see you next time.